Top 10 best Haki moments in One Piece that shock the world. As one of the best anime for the last 25 years straight, you already know there are some insane moments. I don't want to waste any more time because I'm just as excited to watch these clips as you are. Number 10. Starting the list of strong, we have Shanks boarding Whitebeard's ship to talk about the future of pirates as a whole. When Shanks first started walking onto the ship, most didn't know just how powerful he was. We had seen him previously, but this was definitely one of the moments where it made you realize that even on Whitebeard's ship, his presence shakes all those around him. With Shanks losing his arm as one of the emperors, this intrigues Whitebeard's interests, wondering what kind of enemy could do such a feat. Shanks explains to him vaguely that he invested in the future, showing just how deep his trust in Luffy really is. In this conversation, the antagonist of the series really started to shape itself, with Blackbeard giving Shanks his scar. Number 9. Next up, we have Luffy's first real display of his new Haki on Sabaody Island after the time skip. Originally, lots of pirates had gathered in this location to follow a Luffy impersonator, thinking he would lead a new fleet of pirates. Although he got exposed as a fake, soon after Pacifist locates Luffy within the crowd, exposing his location. Even though his first dodge wasn't crazy after Pacifist sent in the following shots, it was a moment where you really got to see Luffy's growth. By only moving his head slightly, he evades all of the incoming attacks, looking down on his enemies. I don't know about y'all, but when I watched this moment, it was a turning point in the series, making me love it even more than I really did. Number 8. Before the time skip occurred and Luffy was at the slave auction, there was an unexpected entrance by Raleigh. Right when tension arises and all of the soon-to-be most powerful pirates are gathered, he walks out menacingly, showing he still hasn't lost his touch. Before he even exerts his presence, people can tell this guy is not someone to mess around with. To top off his emergence into the scene, he uses his conqueror's Haki to make those around him realize he means business. This event not only gave me shivers despite being behind the scene, but it also made everyone proceed with caution. Whether it was Law, Sanji, or even the pirate hunter Zoro, his conqueror's Haki was something that shook the entirety of the auction house. Number 7. Entering the list is probably one of the most anticipated fights that every One Piece fan wanted to see at one time. Roger versus Whitebeard. With their swords not even touching, you can feel how thick the Haki around them is. This fight is one of the only fights we get to see Roger fight at full strength, causing even Whitebeard to fight with caution. Not only did we get to see Whitebeard and Roger fight, but also all of their crews and companions. After 3 days of fighting, most people are knocked out, but not the core members of each group. Imagine fighting alongside your companions only to have the world around you shake as you know it for the two beasts clashing. At the end of the 4th day, they ended up trading goods rather than looting the other. Number 6. Up next is the clash between two emperors, Kaido and Big Mom. With both sides holding immense strength, it was hard to tell who would come out on top before this fight started. As their swords collide, the sky shakes as you know it. I can't imagine standing beside one of these beasts and watching this all go down. Although they may not be as strong as the previous two, their clash of Haki definitely has to be one of the best of all time. I don't know about y'all, but the fights with lots of Haki always make my blood pumping. This fight not only introduced Kaido's strength to be able to stand toe-to-toe with Big Mom, but also show that even though Big Mom lost, she is not a force to reckon with. With so many iconic One Piece moments, which scene really sold you on the series? Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video while you comment. Let's get back to the list. Number 5. Being faced off against lots of adversaries who think he is just a joke, Luffy displays one of the coldest conqueror's Haki moments in all of the series during this moment. With a single glance, he exerts his overwhelming presence to the others, showing he isn't someone to take lightly. Whether it is the sound of the Haki or the beautiful animation, this scene was a moment that showed not only those who doubted him, but also Gramps that Luffy's bounty isn't for show. Although this scene may not be one of the most iconic moments, it definitely holds its place on this list for how cool Luffy looks. Number 4. With his brother on the chopping block and tons of enemies in his path, Luffy thinks all hope is lost. During this entire arc, this scene alone was one that changed Luffy's entire demeanor, making the admirals finally recognize that Luffy is someone who will achieve greatness. As he runs towards the group, not even Whitebeard is able to stop them from executing Ace. I'm sure many of you know how this scene plays out with Luffy using his Conqueror's Haki in a sea of enemies. Whether it was the admiral surprised by his Haki or Luffy himself, this is definitely a moment to remember. I can say confidently that this moment was one that shaped the One Piece world as we know it. I mean, come on. Even some of the strongest characters in the One Piece world were forced to recognize Luffy here, making them wonder if his dream of becoming the Pirate King is really as far-fetched as it seemed. Number 3. なってやろうじゃねえか。地獄の王に。Breaking into the top 3 is probably one of the best animated fights in all of anime. With the right-hand man of the future Pirate King Zoro fighting off against King, the right-hand man of a current emperor, this scene definitely has to be one of the most iconic fights. Upon realizing just how powerful his opponent is, Zoro is able to utilize his training under Mihawk to bring out the fullest of his strength. After a long-fought battle, Zoro is able to break through his defense thanks to his insanely powerful armament Haki. Not only did Zoro injure him, but he also caused King to reveal himself as one of the rarest races in the series, a Lunarian. As they fight, they are not only fighting for themselves, but more importantly for the future to show which potential Pirate King has the stronger right-hand man. Number 2. Earning the number 2 spot on the list is Shanks' iconic moment of Conqueror's Haki against the sea beast to sacrifice his arm and save Luffy. With Luffy being captured and thrown into the sea by some random pirate group, he thought all hope was lost. Just in the nick of time, Shanks emerges to rescue Luffy, who is unable to swim after eating his devil fruit. While many didn't realize that this power was when they first watched the series, later on, we came to learn this was in fact the first display of Conqueror's Haki. To answer my question from before of which moment sold me on the series, it definitely has to be this heartfelt moment between the two. When I first watched this, I didn't think much of it, but now after over 1,000 episodes, I have come to understand just how much trust Shanks put into Luffy's future during this moment.
Zero.
Number 1.
上等だこの鼻血コックが。おい、ルフィ。
Earning the top spot on the list is Luffy knocking out 50,000 fishermen soldiers with his Haki alone. In all of anime, this has to be one of the biggest flexes of power, with Luffy not faltering even when faced against an army infinitely bigger than his own. While the others were fighting about how they will deal with the fishmen, Luffy simply advances without a care, making the fishman thinks he is easy pickings. As many of you know, however, this moment was one that showed what a true pirate king looks like. A pirate king is one who can become a king of a country, fight an army alone, or even knock out 50,000 soldiers with a single glance. Whether it was the fishman being stunned, or even his own crew, nobody thought that Luffy could hold such immense power. Out of all the iconic moments on this list, this one definitely made me realize just how vast the One Piece world can be and how well written the power system is. Well, that wraps up the list. If you stayed until the end, make sure to let me know which One Piece moment you think changed the world view the greatest. As always, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next video. See ya!